Hello, and welcome to this week's weekly Knit Chit Chat. This is where we hang out and talk about knitting and life and just connect. So if you're new around here, hello and welcome. I am Jessica. I am the knitting pattern designer behind Snickerdoodle Knits. I say I love to design patterns that tell the relatable stories of living. And then I'm also the podcaster, business coach, facilitator behind the Pattern Design Circle. Hello and welcome to folks joining live. I'm so excited to see you live. How's your week been? What have you been up to? How have things been going? If this is your first time joining a weekly Knit Chit Chat, I like to start it off by asking, what are 3 words to describe how your week's been? So you don't have to feel like you have to give me a whole story, but just kind of a fun way to connect and talk, even though I'm the only one actually verbally talking right now. So if you want, go ahead and put in the chat 3 words to describe how your week is. If you're watching the replay, you can also do that, or how your week has been. I said my week was draining, informative, and then the other word I came up with was changes. So there's a lot been happening that's emotionally, mentally exhausting, and then some other stuff happened yesterday for me more personally. So it was an exhausting week. But it's Friday. I don't know if you saw, I posted, again, a Smile File Friday on my grid, and so that's been so much fun for me to see what folks are sharing, things about their pets, and oh man, there are all sorts of fun things that I'm loving. Oh, if somebody was their plant, that's Kalisha. Anyway, if you have something that's made you smile, made you happy recently, you can leave that go ahead and comment on that post. If you want to see what everybody else is saying, go check it out. Yeah, so there's that. And I guess the other stuff I'll cover when I talk about my week, but yeah, so the last time we chatted was last Friday, because I've been doing this every Friday afternoon. So since we last talked, last weekend we had some friends over. Let me see if I can figure out where I'm at on here so that I can go ahead and knit while I talk. Yeah, so we actually had some friends over, which I'm pretty sure is the first time. We've had a few friends coming through town that have stayed with us and stuff. But I think it's the first time we've really invited friends over since we moved here, which was May of 2020. So, yeah, we had friends over last Saturday. It was a lot of fun. Oh, I was going to grab the game. We just ate and stuff, and we played a game called Wikipedia. And when I talk about it, most people have never heard about it. So I thought maybe I'd share it in case you're into games. It's kind of a trivia game, but I don't remember things, and I still like the game because it's not purely trivia that might be normal trivia. So it's based on the website Wikipedia, and each card has a topic for it. So one person has the card and is reading the card while everybody else is answering the questions, basically. And so the first 3 questions are actual trivia. The next 3 questions are page view rankings, so it's topics related to the card topic, but you have to guess the page view rankings on Wikipedia, and for some reason that's probably my favorite part because it's totally a guess for everybody, really. Sometimes, because like you have to think about what are people actually searching, because some of the most popularly talked about things people already know, so they're not searching it and things like that. So it's fun because you can get 3 points or 1 point or 0 points. I don't know, I love that one. And then the last part is it has another topic related to it, the main topic, and the person, including the person with the card, has to list out 5 things related, and it's not about whether it's right or wrong, it's about whether it matches, like, the person with the card, what they've written. So it doesn't have any answers on the card, and so that just adds a fun twist. So that was fun to play with more than just us. It gets a little old quickly when it's just 2 players, but yeah, that was fun. And then it felt like we just had all sorts of socializing. Sunday after church, some folks invited us to go out to eat with them, so then we had more time with friends. And then Monday, we had already planned a while back to have some friends over for dinner. They were actually some of the friends that came over on Saturday as well. But, so they came over. We had decided we were going to make pizzas together. And we had just put the pizza stone into the oven. And there was like a rainstorm, thunderstorm going through. And suddenly the power went out. So we decided to wait on making pizzas, and we just played a game until the power came on, and then we had our pizza. So it was kind of interesting. Not as you typically plan for things to go. And with them, we played Exploding Kittens, which was my first time playing that game. And yeah, it was fun. It was, I don't know, there's just like interesting things you can do with the cards. It's not like super complex, but you could build up a strategy, but then it's a lot of luck. And so then basically, when you draw the cat that is the exploding kitten, you lose the game unless you're able to, I forget there's a card in your hand that you can basically saves you, but there's not that many of those cards in the deck. So yes, anyway, that was fun. So that was my social life this week. That's not usually a segment on here, is it? Yeah. So then, I can't remember if I talked about it on here in general or not, but I have been the last few weeks tracking my time to see where all of the time is going and how long things actually take and stuff like that. And so then this week I had 3 weeks of data to go through and really understand how much time things are taking, how much time I should plan for things in the future, and kind of like rescheduled all of that stuff. So it's one of those things where it's like, ooh, I definitely don't want that to actually keep taking up that much time. Not very efficient, and then it also helped me realize like why. So like I've been trying to like slow down in my business, as in work less hours, so I have a life outside of my business, and so it really helped me see why I haven't been getting as much done as I wanted to since doing this whole implement certain hours kind of thing. So that was good. I've then this week put together a schedule based on that felt a lot more realistic. without trying to make things more efficient yet, just to start the change, I guess, to be more mindful of it, and be more practical with my expectations, and then moving forward, work on changing what I'm actually spending my time on and how efficient things are and stuff like that. So that's kind of been a big focus the last few weeks, and yeah, so part of that was also, my brain likes to batch things. If you haven't heard of batching before, it is where basically you do a whole bunch of one kind of activity at the same time. So say instead of doing dishes for 5 minutes, and then knitting for 5 minutes, and then doing laundry for 5 minutes, like folding laundry, we'll say the laundry's already done, and then repeating that 15-minute segment 5 times throughout the day, you just do all of the dishes together, and you do all of the laundry together, and you do all of the knitting together. So my brain likes to not have all of the interruptions. I'm a lot more productive and able to focus a lot better. So something that I've liked to do is plan all of my marketing content and stuff like that all at the same time for the month, and then schedule it and all of that kind of stuff, rather than doing it on a week by week or daily basis. And so I really looked at where my time's going, how much time that takes, and where to fit it realistically. And so for me, I decided actually it's not working so well for me to do that in the first week of the month. It's going to work better for me to do it the 4th week. And part of that is because I want to do all of the planning before I do my podcasting, and then I want to be able to do my podcasting and then have content from my podcasting. I don't know if that'll make sense. This is probably boring, but anyway, it gave me a lot more structure to know what works best for when I want to do everything, and things like calls actually work a lot better on Wednesdays and on Fridays, which actually brings me to, I'm planning to move the weekly Knit Chit Chats to Thursday afternoon, or Thursday sometime. I haven't decided on my actual time though, so if you have a preference, let me know. I might go ahead and put a poll quiz kind of thing in my stories, and if anybody has a preference, maybe you can help me decide what time to do my live videos. Hello and welcome, Jean. How's your week been? Do you have 3 words to describe your week? Or do you have any projects you've been working on? I am working on my In a Mood scarf, which you would recognize if you've seen past episodes. So it's actually an infinity scarf, kind of the same idea as this. It'll have 3 loops just like this. The pattern is actually so that you can knit any of these textures whenever you want. So you don't have to leave them in sections like I have here. You could knit some drop stitches and then some of the garter rib and then some of the lace, and do whatever you want. But this looks real good with the other one, right? Maybe I should take that one off. This is my Remembering Summer scarf. It was one of my first designs, and it tells the story of summer, basically. So, especially before I moved south, I really love the summers, love the sunshine and the warmth, and now our winters are so mild here, but used to really hate the coming of winter, which lasted a lot longer in Montana as well. Anyway, so I did this as a way to keep the bright summery stuff with you throughout the dark winter. So let's see if I can remember where it starts. Must be this one. So this is supposed to be a pile of seeds. No, because this is the end. Don't listen to me. Yes, okay, so this is the pile of seeds, and then we have the seeds all planted in rows, like in a garden or a field or something. And then we have the water. Yes, I did try to do the colors according to the theme, the subject. Then we have the water coming down, and the sun popping out. I have another version here I'll show you too, where I changed what the baubles look like. And then this is the rose with the buds starting to show. And then finally, this section is the flowers with the blooms. So that's what that scarf was. This is another version that I have that's 2 colors and it's just 1 loop. And so it's just a fun kind of texture sample if you're wanting to learn new textures and things, or just play with texture if you get bored with knitting the same thing over and over again. So again, yep, this is the seeds in a pile, and then in rows, like in the garden, the rain, the sunshine. So I did a different kind of bauble here. And then the buds popping through in the rows, and then the flowers. Anyway, so what I was actually doing here was going to show how this is going to loop. And then one more time, and then it will connect. I'll connect this here. So, yeah, basically I think I'm just going to work the rest of this yarn, and I still have, is that actually what I want to do? I need to think about that, because I'm also going to, I want to make a cowl as well with the same idea, because I have a shawl pattern that I released, that's the In a Mood shawl, with the same textures, same idea, you knit whichever motifs whenever you want. But I need to figure out how much yarn I need for the cowl version. So anyway, I don't know if this is going to be enough. I might just need to use a different color instead. I have right here, this is a different yarn dyer, but that would work. Pretty sure this is DK weight as well. So anyway, Jean said, scarf is beautiful. Thank you so much. Working on socks today and have an Afghan to sew together. That is fun. Are your socks textured or are they plain knitting? What's the word that we use for not stockinette? I mean, it is stockinette, but vanilla. Are they vanilla socks or are they textured socks? And then are you using, what kind of yarn are you using? Is it tonal or variegated, or what are you using? This yarn was from, oh, it was just for this. I was thinking I'd used it in the shawl. I had not used it in the shawl. But this is hand-dyed Diva yarn. They're local. They actually, they used to have a yarn shop. Cheers to you. But they also dye their own yarn. They closed their shop because they are building a new location. So they have a new property and they're like sharing the whole process of building a new location for both Cheers to You and Hand Dyed Diva. So they're going to be able to dye their yarn the same place the yarn shop is at. But they closed the previous location at the end of May, and they won't have the new place built until at least January, sometime next year. So they still are selling their yarn, still dyeing their yarn with Hand Dyed Diva, but Cheers to You is currently closed. Vanilla socks, pretty new to sock knitting. Don't say just. Vanilla socks are perfectly fine. They definitely serve their purpose, and there's something to be said for being able to work just mindlessly. But yeah, are you enjoying the socks? You said you're pretty new to sock knitting. I know a lot of folks are intimidated by socks, primarily because of the heel, I believe, but it's actually probably not as complicated as you think. I think the heel is the most fun part. And if you find a good quality pattern, it tells you how to do it, and there's lots of tutorials on YouTube and stuff like that also. But yeah, are you enjoying the socks? Are you having fun with it? Or what is your favorite thing to knit? That's a terrible question, isn't it? I don't know if I'd be able to say. I really actually love, you are enjoying them. Perfect. I enjoy knitting cowls a lot because they're like quick and interesting. Maybe that's my favorite thing to knit. I really enjoy designing shawls because it's easy to play with that palette. You can do so much with like the size and things. But I am wanting to knit more like cardigans and pullovers because that's what I want to wear. So how do we combine my love for knitting cowls, my interest in designing shawls, and me wanting to wear cardigans? That's where I'm stuck at. You love knitting shawls. Yeah. It really kind of depends on my mood. I usually love knitting shawls, but sometimes not purling, like if you have to purl back, I'm not in the mood. But then sometimes I also don't just love knitting. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too moody. Maybe that's why I have the in a mood scarf and shawl, because I'm just too particular about my moods. Yeah, that's fun. See here, what else was happening this week? I have my notes. I shared this last week. I got this like whiteboard notebook thingy, and I'm still loving it. I think I showed last week. Like, it has these covers that you can just put on it so that if you rub up against it, it doesn't wipe it away. So I'm still really loving that. But the reason I was saying that is because I did have notes today to remind me what happened. So there was lots of behind the scenes stuff happening in Tandem over the last couple weeks. I guess if you're not familiar with In Tandem, it's a project working on with 15 other designers to create a publication. So we are working on 4 issues. The first one will be coming out in a year, in August. Yeah, it's all about collaboration, and rather than having like a publisher in charge and then the designers just creating for them, we're just all working together is the whole idea. So there's been a lot going on there. On Tuesdays, so in the design circle, the designers they had asked if we could do just like a design chat. It was after the design along. So every month there's a Tuesday and a Saturday that we meet up and just chat. So I went to that this week, and that is when I got a bit of this progress done, because the last time you saw this, last week, I was way back here. So I got some of this knitting done on that call, and then I got a bunch of knitting done yesterday because I had just had enough and I needed to be able to zone out and do something relaxing, and so that was knitting. And then if you missed it, also on Tuesday I had a call with Tressa of Tsinbikee Knits. That was a lot of fun. She is half Navajo, and so she shared some about her, like she's been doing some of the traditional, well, it was several years back, she learned how to do some of the traditional Navajo weaving for rugs, and she recently finished up a large project she was talking about. Then we talked about like her design inspiration and being outside and different things like that. So if you've been on any of the other featured designer calls, you kind of know what to expect, but it's really where I just asked them about their design process and how they started designing, how they started knitting, and then I try to dig in a little bit beyond what they typically share on Instagram to get to know their personalities and stuff a little bit more. So if you haven't watched that, the replay is on my just on my Instagram or on my YouTube. So of course that was exciting. And then so that was the June featured designer. And for our July featured designer, we will be talking with Megan of Pip and Pin. So Megan Nodecker. I'm excited. I really love, all of the folks that I bring on, I really love their work. I love following them on social media. Megan feels a little bit special because my friend, so if you don't know the whole story, Rachel of 6 and 7 Fiber, she's the yarn dyer, the owner of 6 and 7 Fiber. I met her before I really got back into knitting. Like, I learned to knit when I was younger, but I hadn't done a whole lot of it. And then I had met her. We were in real life friends, and then I found out she dyed yarn. And it's her fault that I found out about like all of these knitters on Instagram, that I really started using Ravelry. I had gotten a Ravelry account previously because like I had been looking for patterns and stuff, but I really didn't know how to use it. So I blame Rachel for me being here as a designer now, because she kind of got me into all of it. So anyway, that's a long story to say Rachel really admires Megan's work. She had Megan's book that Megan and her sister Katie had done. So Megan was kind of one of the first people that I knew about as a cool designer kind of thing. So anyway, yes, I'm excited to have Megan chat with us August 14th, I believe. I don't have it written down. It's a Thursday. Not August, July 14th, I think, at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Of course, I'll be sharing more about that when the time gets closer, but it's also, did you know that on, like, when I schedule the live videos, you can go onto my profile and, like, just before my grid photos, it shows all of the scheduled events. So if there's more than one, you can click on it and you can see when all of the events are scheduled. So right now, all the Instagram lives on there are showing that they're Fridays at 4 Eastern. I will be changing that once I figure out what time I'm actually going to start recording, or when I'll go live on Thursdays instead. Yeah, so you can definitely see Megan's call on there for sure. Other things that have been going on this week. Sorry, there's like, I've been blaming it on my lights. So I have studio lights that are like bright on me when I'm talking, and it's every time I go live, whether it's a featured designer, whether it's a featured designer or whether it's my lives, like by myself, it's around half an hour in, I start yawning so bad, and I don't know if I'm just boring myself. Like, I'm so boring. I'm not only putting you to sleep, I'm putting me to sleep, or what I'm blaming is the lights. But I always feel terrible because it's so rude. Okay, anyway, the rest of what's been happening here at Snickerdoodle Knits. I had a coaching call with a client today, and those always just brighten my day. I'm and she's doing so well. I talked with her a couple months ago, and we worked through some things, and now she's so much more happy and excited about the direction of her business and stuff like that. So that just makes me so happy. I've realized I really enjoy all of my calls that I have, the coaching calls and inside the design circle and here, and so yeah, I just love it. Hello, Megan. If you want to share what you've been up to or how your week's been, feel free to. Yeah, and then so I wrote these notes right before I came on, and I had just gotten off the phone from talking to a bank about my business bank account, trying to get access to stuff, and I'd been talking to them for an hour. So that was the excitement of my day. Yeah, that's all I have from this week. Hello, we have somebody else who just joined. If you want to tell us how your week's been, go ahead and share in the chat or anything you've been working on. So I was thinking about how I had nothing to share. I still filled half an hour, so I'm kind of impressed. I told some stories, that helped. I was afraid I was going to have nothing to say, so I thought it would be fun to share a couple, have a knitting show and tell, or maybe it's design show and tell because they're my patterns, but so I shared this, and I shared this already. That's the Remembering Summer Infinity Scarf. Yes, I did just use leftovers from here for this. And then these two were a couple that I shared in my newsletter this week, which, by the way, if you're not signed up, I do have a newsletter. I send stuff sometimes. When I release a pattern, I have a discount specific to newsletter subscribers, and then I do a lot better job of like saying these are my favorite patterns right now and things like that. But yeah, it's especially nice when there are folks who aren't on Instagram or folks who aren't seeing my stuff on Instagram. It's a nice way to be able to still stay in touch. Okay, so one design that I shared this week, this is the Summer in the Sun Dishcloth, which is a free pattern via my email list. I think if I put the link in the description, because this is a video, it should be clickable. So I will go ahead and put the link in the description. But yeah, it's a sunshine dishcloth. If you don't want to sign up for my newsletter, it is also available for sale, for purchase, on Ravelry and Lovecrafts and Snickerdoodle Knits. So, actually, the link I will put down below will be the page that talks about it, and then that page, from there you can go to the free pattern on my email list, or you can go to Ravelry, or you can go to Lovecrafts, or you can go to my website. So, that is that dishcloth. It's just so, like, bright and cheery, and doesn't it just make you feel warm and cheerful? And I just got a fuzzy in my mouth. And then the other one I shared is the flag dishcloth, which same story. It's free, same story as this, free via my email list, for sale on Ravelry and Lovecrafts and my website. And I'll put the link down below too. So there's the version that is just garter, and there is the version that is stockinette here for the blue section, and then duplicate stitch for the hearts. Or you could do two-color stranded color work here if you wanted to, but I think the duplicate stitch is a lot nicer to work with. I thought I had a version that had stranded color work. Maybe that was just a draft that I got rid of. But I also have been talking about this in my stories because I don't know if you're around a year ago when I released this, I really didn't want to just release this pattern because I just kind of have, I don't know, weird feelings about it because I don't, yeah. So I wanted to design for a bunch of different countries' flags, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna do that, it's gonna be so much fun. And then I realized, oh, I overcommit to everything and I never have time to get done what I need to get done, so I'm not sure when this is gonna get done. So then I started talking to different folks, saying that I would love to collaborate with other designers to design the other flags, so that those are available to folks. It's not just the US flag. So if you are a designer interested, go ahead and comment down below or send me a direct message and we can talk about different ideas. If you know a designer who, especially if they like to design dishcloths and things like that, maybe send them my info or tell them about it or something. It would be super fun, I think, to have a lot of other countries, and something I would love to do is put together a little bit of information about each country. Yeah, another idea I just had today, or well, I think I've had it a couple times, but I could maybe start with designing the countries that I've visited. I think quite a few of those have flags with similar colors, but at the same time, a lot of those countries are all white dominant. So I definitely want to have a larger diversity. Oh, Mexico. But still, it's not, I want more diversity for sure, in the flags that I create, so, or that are available at a minimum. So I'm not really sure. But if you know somebody, let me know. Yeah. Hello, somebody else just joined. If you want to share how your week's been or what you've been working on, feel free to share in the chat, or even if you want to hop on live to show, love to have you. It's been a while since I've had somebody share live. Oh, I guess I could take this off now. Yeah, I think that's all from what I had to share, but nobody else wants to share. Hello, welcome. Do you want to share how your week's been, or do you want to come on live and talk about any projects you've been working on? I'm pretty well done talking. Right now I'm knitting on my infinity scarf, in a mood scarf. I'm on the last section now. Once this blocks out, it'll be a little bit prettier, but this is just a lacy section. So that's what I'm working on. I'm wearing another scarf, obviously. First official retirement day. Congratulations. That is extremely exciting. And you look forward to days of knitting. That will be, I'm so excited for you. That's gotta be such a good feeling. What kind of knitting projects do you have planned for right now, or is there something you're working on? Is there something you're really excited about? I'm trying to think, like, how many projects would I get done if I actually, like, dedicated time to it? I know that sounds funny as a designer, but I do not actually spend all that much time knitting. A lot of what I do is on the computer. Yeah, pretty much everything I do is on the computer. So yeah, but so exciting. I'm so excited for you. I'm not sure if you're... This is the hard part about chatting live, but I am the only one you can actually see, because I don't know if now you're continuing to respond or if I'm gonna make socks and a blanket and a sweater for yourself. That's so exciting. Are you interested in hopping on live? Do you have any of these projects you want to show? No worries if not, but I'd be happy to have you if you'd like. I'm just continuing to knit. That's all. Let me see here. I'm trying to think of something else to talk about to fill the time. I'm still working on my cardigan, my Mima cardigan by Pip and Pin, but I haven't made any progress since the last time we chatted, so it's still like this long. I was just thinking, so talking about socks, I was just thinking I should, when I made my autumnal socks, it's my pattern, I had made the shorty sock sample, but when I bound off the second sock, I bound off just a tad too tight. So I was thinking I need to go ahead and pull out that bind off and redo it so I can actually wear the socks, especially now that it's summer. Have not started them, no worries. Just getting started with my business, lots of computer and not much making. Yes, congratulations on the new business. I'm guessing, is that the Heirloom Fiber Arts is the business? What all do you do? Or what all are you planning to do? If you'd like to hop on and chat about it, you're welcome to. Hello, Natalia. How are you doing? Just hanging out, chatting now. And hello, Juliana. Natalia, if you're interested in going live, if you have something to share, you're welcome to join me too. I'm just sitting here knitting on my In a Mood scarf, working on the last section. And I don't know how much of a delay there is here because knitting, crochet, and patterns at some point. That is so fun. So are you selling like the knits and the crochet, like already made projects, and then you plan to make patterns at some point? Or is that like you're making knitting patterns and planning to, I think that's what you mean. I want to learn how to make a knitting pattern from my child's wear. So like you have like your children's wear, like you have your kids' clothes, and then you're wanting to figure out how to do the math to make it into a knitting pattern. Designs, can you offer me some advice on how to learn? Yeah, so it's kind of hard to know without knowing exactly. Heirloom Fiber, it says you're a seller and then patterns later. Fun. That's how I started too. If you ever want to chat business, just let me know. And also, if you didn't know, I have the Pattern Design Circle Instagram account and podcast where I talk all about business and designing over there. Okay, so you want some advice on how to learn to design. Well, if you want like a course, Megan Nodecker of Pip and Pin has a Idea to Pattern workshop. It's not open all of the time, so I imagine there's probably a wait list you can join. Beyond that, it's a matter of math mostly. So you have to know what your dimensions are that you want it to be, which is more simple when you have something that you're working off of. So like here I have a cardigan. So for example, I could just measure this back panel and say it is, I don't know, 16 inches long. I don't know how long it actually is. Then if you had a swatch of, if you have a swatch of fabric, so like say you want it to be stockinette, you have stitches per inch, and that will tell you how many stitches wide to make it. How to make patterns from your designs. So you have, like, did you like design, you've designed some stuff and you're just not quite sure how to write the pattern now? Sorry. So yeah, I guess I'll wait for you to respond before I keep talking. But yeah, so you're just not sure how to write the pattern. Yeah, so I mean, I have coaching calls to really walk you through it, but I also have, if you haven't listened to the podcast, I have a few different podcast episodes about like things to include in your pattern, things like that. But my main suggestion is to pay attention to other patterns that you've worked from and see things that you like and that you don't like. So you have an idea of what actually you want. Otherwise, it's a matter of really just including all of the different parts of the pattern that I have on the podcast and on the blog, and writing out all of your instructions. And working with a tech editor will help a lot. Do you know of a course? Yeah, so Idea to Pattern Workshop by Megan Nodecker is a course that it's not always open. So like I know right now it's in the middle of, it's like an 8-week course or something, 6-week course maybe. No, it's probably closer to 8 weeks. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Anyway, I know that it's currently in session, so it's not open right now. That's the only course I think I know of. But that is what, my one-on-one coaching, I do a fair bit of that to help folks really work through exactly what they're confused about. And then, yeah, feel free to ask questions and stuff. And again, my Pattern Design Circle Instagram account, I talk a lot more about business and designing over there. And I have the podcast for the Pattern Design Circle. I have a membership that is for designers, but it's really for designers that are already designing and trying to grow the business more. So you're welcome. Let me know if you ever need more help. I'll point you wherever I can, and answer questions and stuff like that. But yeah. Natalia and Heirloom Fiber Arts are still here. Are either of you interested in coming on live? You're welcome. If you want to, feel free to request or just say in the comments that you want to. If you don't want to, no worries. I am trying to see where I'm at again. That is the main downfall of something with more, I don't know, lacy-ish. Like, it's really simple. It's just a matter of getting it started. You want to come on live? Sounds good. I will request you. I think I invited you. Maybe. No, thank you. Your information is great. No problem. You're welcome. Hi, Natalia. How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
I was live today, so like in my Instagram, yeah. So it was
So
fun
you're just on all
to
the lives.
chat. Yeah, but so I'm still in a mood to chat a little bit. Yeah.
Perfect. What have you been up to?
So today I talk about my like last month, what I have done and what was going on through whole June. So I show all my project, what I have done during this June. So I have little tiny pieces of this, tiny pieces of this, and so on. So yeah,
Fun.
several small projects and like still drafting my couple of my patterns. Not in a finished stage, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. As usually, life was throwing something that you didn't
That's the way
expect it.
it is.
Yes. Yeah, that's why like so I was I thought for first that I have like not much done during the whole of June. And then I start gathering all the pieces and it's like, oh, okay, it's a whole pile of things that I finished. But my thought about this, I didn't done much because I didn't much done in designing perspective. So I didn't finish my pattern that I wanted, but at least I started drafting other patterns. So and I made samples for patterns. So it's like it's going somewhere, but not as I wanted,
Not
how
as
fast I
quickly.
wanted. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can understand. Do you have
Uh,
any of your projects with you to show?
yeah, sure. So I finished couple samples of my cowls that I will be writing. So this is my crochet sample, and I already have a knitted version for this kind of cowl. So knitted version called Colorful Scales Cowl. And yeah, this needs to find a name. uh, yeah, I made actually two samples. This one in hand-dyed Diva yarn, and this is second one because I made this one. It's not much visible this pattern here, but I wanted to make in this yarn because I have a knitted version in the same yarn and the same color. So that's
Oh, that's
why.
perfect. It's so fun. Like the
Yeah, so it's like I grabbed the knitted version also. Okay. Yes. This is Gardner Stitch.
okay. Uh-huh. So you've got all the
And
because it's been knit.
yeah,
This one's kind of more
yeah,
style
this is
crochet.
knit version. And this is a crochet version. It's a single crochet through the front loop.
That's fun.
So I try to recreate this like a garter reach. Yeah, lines this here.
So
This,
fun. Is
crochet.
that looks similar to your reptile scarf that's in knit
Yes,
crochet,
yes,
right? Yeah.
yes. They have reptile is knit version and tweed on twin scarf is crochet version. So it's two scarves in the same technique, modular technique. So and yeah, this will be. This is already published. This is work in progress.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. And I finally blocked my shawls. That's I writing pattern for, and
The blue
so
one. That's like
yes, the
yeah.
blue one, big one.
You shared that on one of my Instagram lives another time.
Oh yeah, yeah,
When
Yeah,
you
I
had
found it like,
it back at the end bottom, I think, and that's when you were showing it to us. And so now it actually has the edge on
yes, it's finished and it's blocked. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's and this is kind of big, I mean a big circumference and yeah, outline. And I have some blocking pins, blocking combs actually, and I didn't have enough to go all around, and I ordered second box, and then was a little bit waiting when it's arrived. So it's like, okay, slow down. You got this, but not right now. Yeah.
Have you used both blocking pins and blocking combs, or just the combs?
Uh, so I use blocking combs to like going this way, yeah, like outline. Yeah, same. And then I use blocking pins to block this tiny actually a edge. So it was like 100 something pins around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
because I only have blocking pins. I've seen the combs, and it's like feels like that could be really efficient for like
yes,
for a straight line.
yeah. For straight lines, it's great. So I love it. And so you can usually they have like different different size, like this size, you can see, and half of this.
Okay.
So more, I mostly use this for straight line. Very nice, and it's very sharp. Yeah, you definitely need to use blocking mat, and yeah, like with a good thickness.
Yeah. Prevent
Sharp and
injury.
yeah, sharp and deep. Yeah.
That's so fun. Do you have
Yeah.
any of your projects that are in progress right now? Or is it mostly the
I do. I started one and I have no idea if it will be like this design that will be published or it will be my some kind of work in progress at some point. This is super busy, I mean in color busy, finger and weight yarn. I think it's merino blend.
It's really pretty.
Ryan. Yeah, it's very pretty and very soft. And I'm making a top, but it's uh, not like a normal you doing front or back. I am doing middle part here. It's like from bottom up, yeah. And then I'll be doing side by side,
Okay.
starting one side and then starting other. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I have idea in my head. Now I need to put it like in a yarn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for the folks that were saying that they want to start designing, do
Uh-huh.
you have any tips for them on how to learn how to design?
Um, Big tip I will say, make somebody's pattern first and see how it's worked, what you can learn. Um, so it's not like you follow direction, yeah. It's also how it put in a pattern. Like for example, we do repetition here this way, or we adding like something here. If, for example, some people are writing like you need to do this and this at the same time, you need to do this and this and this. do you like this kind of direction? Or you will say in your pattern, like doing like 10 rows, for example, it usually like incorporate different direction, for example, for shoulder or for a neckline. Yeah, you need to do at the same time here and here. So for example, in your pattern, you can write like make 10 rows for a neckline, and then after this start shoulder for this kind of row, and this continue the same way, neck decreases or shoulder decreases. So for example, this way. Or so you need to practice to see how it is on a paper and how it is on your finished project, and what you need to complete here and how you need to put this in writing.
Yeah.
So it's usually it is practice. Yeah, I don't know if it will be. So I don't know. It's if you can, like, I draw a picture of my design and then start writing it. You need to see how fabric works, how if it's knitted fabric or it's crochet fabric. Usually a little bit different, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
you have to be really familiar with how the numbers and the figures work.
Yeah.
Before you can.
For example, for a garment, yeah, you need to know where your armholes, how they starting, how they it's going big decreases, small decreases, or it's straight line for different kind of shoulders and different kind of arms. So sleeve, I mean, yeah. So you need to read pattern, somebody's, recreate it in actual project and see what happened here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great advice. I feel like so much of designing really is just learning through practice. Like there's only so much that somebody can tell you how to do something, but beyond that.
I mean, you can learn like, for example, for grading, yeah, you can learn probably how to put in Excel something, and then pull it different numbers or something. Like, you can learn this part, but you need to see how fabric versus written instructions work. So,
yeah.
Only practice. Sorry, guys, no shortcut.
Yes. Oh man. Well, this was fun. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you have anything exciting happening this weekend?
Pool party.
That's fun. Can I come over?
It's a community pool, so it's like close party. Sorry.
Oh, well, that'll be good. I hope you have a good weekend.
Okay. Yeah, you too. Bye.
Alrighty, talk to you later. Thanks so much, Natalia, for joining, and everybody who has joined live. First photos with dimensions. You asking something about that? Trying to figure out how to make the diagrams, or oh, maybe you're first saying like go ahead and draw out your picture with the dimensions and that will help. So yes, definitely. Then write the pattern. Yeah, so I have a podcast that's all about and a blog post about different ways to go about the design process, different steps, order you can take. This order that I like to do is to have the concept and the sketch, do all of the swatching for all of the textures and the gauge numbers, and then do the math, and then write the pattern, and then make the sample. But a lot of times you kind of have to do, especially earlier on, some of those steps at the same time or like back and forth. Like a lot of folks on their first pattern aren't comfortable writing the complete pattern before they knit the sample because they need more of that practice. So yes, but definitely, you definitely want to know what sizes you want, all of that information before you start. You're going to need that to do the math to even know how many stitches you need to start with. So yes, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining live. If you watch the replay, thanks for watching the whole replay. I guess, oh, I didn't think of words of wisdom for you, but I'll just leave you with, remember that you are in charge of your own journey. So I hope you enjoy it. I am sending big hugs, lots of love and kindness your way. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I will talk to you again next Thursday. Bye bye.